Good afternoon, folks. Big Bo with RVs with Big Bo at Parkway RV Center. Thought I'd mix things up a little bit. And let's do a Class A gas motorhome today. And I've got a nice one. This is a medium-sized Class A, at least medium-sized to me. This is a 2010 Fleetwood Encounter. And guys, this is the Model 30 SA. 31 feet long, double slide, 52,000 miles on it. Got a great deal on this one. It's only $44,900 and a really nice clean motorhome. You know, it's under 32, under 33 feet. So if those of you like myself that like state parks, older campgrounds, this is something that you can get into very easily. And good looking motorhome, all around in great shape. Built on a Ford chassis. It's got the 6.8 Triton V-10, 362 horsepower, 457 pound-feet of torque, which is a ton of power for this size motorhome. But to beat that, even though personally I wouldn't spend the extra money to put this on it if it didn't already have it, but you've got the Banks power package, and that's huge, guys. That's several $1,000s to add that to an existing motorhome. Now, Banks power package is basically a whole exhaust, whole intake manifold system, several $1,000s to add that to your motorhome. But basically blocks any restrictions from the breathing of the motor. And according to Banks, you gain, now this is off their literature, so keep in mind they're just trying to sell you the system. It's a very expensive system. But according to them, you can gain up to, I guess depends on the RPM and things like that, up to 57 horsepower, 77 pound-feet of torque. So theoretically, you can have up to over 500 horsepower motorhome. And 7%, gain up to 7% on your fuel mileage, which that's not much on one of these motorhomes, guys. Let's not beat around the bush. I mean, nobody buys a 31-foot box on wheels to save on gas. You know, I figured at best you're going to get 6 to 8 miles a gallon on a motorhome like this from my experience. So what are you going to gain? Maybe a little over half a mile a gallon, but I guess every little bit helps. But like I said, nobody drives a motorhome like this to save on fuel. But wow, good looking motorhome, guys. It's a Fleetwood Encounter, guys. Fleetwood has been one of the most durable and well-known names in the RV industry for many decades now. This unit's got leveling jacks, 30 amp electrical service, got a 4 kW Onan generator, which is perfect for this size RV. You know, you don't have to go get the expensive 50 amp electrical service, which I know most parks have 50 or 30 now, but there are a lot of older parks that you do have to get 30 amp, because a lot of the older parks, a lot of them, they just have very few 50, if any at all. I have run into that before. When I had my bigger Class A that had 50. And you can see, guys, has 2 slide outs, which is a lot of room for this small of a motorhome. Does have a manual awning. I've got it out right now. Canvas looks great. Awning works great. Tires look great. You can see I got the outside bays, propane tank, outside stereo, 6-gallon DSi, water heater, polyethylene coated compartments. This one does not pass through. Believe one of these back here are. So it's got a pretty decent amount of storage, at least for a 31-foot Class A. That one's not pass through, this one is. So got a large pass-through storage right there. Does have a 5,000 pound towing capacity. Spare tire on the back, roof, access ladder. Does have Fleetwood's famous tough ply roof system. That is a flexible membrane on the roof, and it is, think of it as a TPO roof on steroids. Fleetwood has used that roof system successfully for decades. It's 20 to 50% thicker than a EPDM roof, and it's held up really well. Speaking of roof, let me pause the video for a minute. Let's pop a drone up and do a roof shot. Roof's a little dirty, but it looks very, very nice for a 13-year-old roof. Hang on one second. So you can see, guys, besides being a little dirty, roof looks great, and we will wash it and everything before you take it. A few little bumper stickers on the back. Let's see how many places I've been to. Been to mile marker 0. Been to Key West, Siesta Key, been there. Modesto Island, I can't say I've been there, but nothing wrong with that. Heck, I don't feel like I've been anywhere this year. Do have a outside shower. You do have the black water flush system. You do have your 30 amp power cord. You do have to plug it in to the generator to run it, which I like that, guys, because I've had so many RVs that the automatic transfer switch has gone out on me in the middle of a trip, and I wasn't able to plug it into the generator or transfer between shore power and generator. I would much rather have a manual plug-in. Yeah, it's a little aggravating having to take the power cord and plug it into that box to run generator power, but it's a whole lot more dependable than having to have a automatic transfer switch go out in one when you at the worst possible time, which my luck happens. No delamination. Slide toppers on both slides look good. Awning looks good. It's a lot of motorhome for $44,900. I love that Banks package. Yes, we are going to drive it later in the video. Hopefully I get done in time so somebody can ride with me. It's getting late in the day. I've been trying to get on this thing all day. It's just been a crazy day here at Parkway RV. I've had it running so long, waiting on me, that the refrigerator's got to operating temp. I cranked it this morning. That generator's been running several hours. But at least it's cooled off in here. Let's step inside. Books and manuals. Great visibility. The air conditioner feels great. Got a 13,005. Actually, this one's probably a 15,000 BTU. Come to think of it. Ducted roof air. I turned the motor off because I didn't know since running fuel out in the motor and the generator if I wasn't going to be out here for a few hours. 51,271 miles. No check engine lights, no warning lights. Seats look awesome. I mean, flex steel captain's chairs, which are the best. They swivel for party seating. TV up top, forgot to turn that on, but I'm sure it works. Does have a DVD player and crossover up there. It does have the high roof. I'm gonna say that's probably a 6'10" roof. Your sofa, sleeper sofa, makes a bed. Table booth makes a bed, so it's a 6 sleeper, making it ideal for a couple or a small family. And you've got a pretty good bit of storage. Really clean too. Old Fleetwood's hard to beat, guys. I mean, we've had a many of them over the years. You know, Fleetwood's just one of them brands that's kind of stood the test of time. Luckily, like I said, I've had it on a long time, so obviously that's cold. And I guarantee you this has gotten cold. Yep. Now, of course, I know it's barely below freezing, but when you have stuff in there, it's not going to be that cold. So if you got your refrigerator full of stuff, it's not going to freeze everything in there. That is automatic temperature control too, so there is no adjusting it. Like I said, you put your carton of milk in there, sodas or whatever, it's going to distribute it among those things, so it's not going to be that cold once you fill it up. You do have a little kitchen area right here. 3-burner cooktop, doesn't look like been used hardly. Oven looks good, clean. Advent microwave oven. Fantastic vent fan right here, so in case you burn something, you can hide the evidence. Got a double basin sink, fire extinguisher. I guess they got you ready for anything, right? Little pop out countertop extender, cutting board, pantry. Lots of lighting in here too. And these are just various drawers for whatever you want to use them for. Got a kind of a side hallway, so it gives you a little bit more privacy in the bedroom, with a fully enclosed, fully enclosed walk-through bathroom. You do have a glassed-in shower with a skylight that looks great. And you can see, guys, shower looks great, not discolored, so it hasn't spent, it hasn't spent a lot of time outside. A little trick to see if an RV spent a lot of time outside, if it's got a skylight, simply look in the shower. See what happens. Oh, if something's been spent a lot of time outside, you're going to see, besides the fading on the outside, is the UV rays coming through the skylight will turn the plastic in these shower surrounds a bright yellow. And so when you see one that's bright yellow, it's from the oxidation, I guess, from the UV rays coming through the skylight, and it causes it to turn bright yellow. So when you see one like this that's not bright yellow, that means it's been stored under cover or in some kind of storage facility or something, and not had been outside exposed to the elements. You do have a sink, medicine cabinet, another little vent fan. Got your all important RV toilet, and that is a porcelain one with your little sprayer. Walk through to the bedroom. You got a small television on a swivel mount, and you've got a closet right over there in the corner. You've got a queen bed, and of course a boondocker's best friend, especially if you're boondocking somewhere, you don't have hookups, you don't want to run a generator, and it's not that hot out. Turn that 12-volt fan on, that ventilation fan, that fantastic vent fan. It will circulate a lot of air in here, give you a pretty comfortable night's sleep. Even got a headboard. Solid sliding door for privacy for the bedroom to the bathroom. Day-night shades all look good. Some storage under there, and of course, guys, I'll show you how to bring the rooms in and what it looks like with the rooms in before we take a test drive. This is cuddy storage everywhere. There's your remote control for your little TV, but that's a little bitty TV right there, but hey, every little bit helps, right? What is that, a 12-inch, 14-inch? But hey, it's there. Hey, little motorhome, little TV. Not a lot of carpet, just in the slide out area and in the bedroom. Your main walkway's vinyl, so easier to keep clean. Yeah, this is pretty neat, guys. I like the size of it. I think this is a great size, not too big, not too small. Not everybody wants to drive a 40-foot plus behemoth going down the road. Don't get me wrong, my last one was 38-footer, and it was nice when you got there, but you going through the cities and trying to find a place to stay, and it made it a little awkward sometimes. But it is nice, something like this, you can stay in more places than with a great big one, and it's easier to drive. I do like the fact with a Class A, you sit up taller, you can see more. You're really not that much wider than a Class C. It just feels like you are, because your cab is the same width as a motorhome, unlike a Class C. So that's a mind game with a lot of people. Don't realize a Class C, you sit down lower to the ground, your cab is more narrow, so it feels like you're driving a smaller vehicle than you actually are. Where a Class A, your cab, you sit up top higher, and your cab is the same width as the rest of the RV. So A lot of people don't realize that, but they drive really similar, but I do like sitting up, and I do like the visibility of a Class A. But anyway, this unit is $44,900, haggle-free firm while it lasts. Includes our major systems inspection, which we do check and guarantee the slide outs. We check and guarantee the generator, make sure it runs, puts out like it's supposed to, puts out electricity. We check your refrigerator, freezer, which you saw it work, make sure it gets to operating temperature. We check your air conditioner, make sure it works, which it does, roof air. We check your plumbing systems, which is winterized right now, believe it or not. It does have a water filter, which is off, and everything's drained. So we do guarantee that to work. We check your plumbing systems, your water heater, water pump, all your faucets, spigots, toilet, things like that. So you know you're good there. We check your steps, we check the drivability of it, which we're going to drive here in just shortly. So rest assured, guys, that all the major stuff that could ruin your camping trip will be checked and repaired if needed at no additional cost to you. Now, that being said, guys, the way we keep our prices so low, and yes, guys, get on RV Trader, look at these things. There's one other one that's been sitting for 3 to 5 years. That's $1,000 less than this one, a 2010 Fleetwood Encounter from an individual. That's been sitting for 3 to 5 years, and I don't know about that, guys. You know, one that's been sitting that long, you know, generator's probably gummed up, you know, all this other stuff. There's probably going to be a lot of issues with it, rodents and critters and all that stuff. So, I mean, by all means, if you want to look at it, but just one that's been sitting that long, I'd be wary. At least this one's got 52,000 miles. You know, it hasn't sat for years between uses. And we are going to drive it. We drove this thing several hundred miles in, so we're going to drive it. We're going to test drive it here shortly. I'll bring the rooms in. But we do, guys, you know, that's the things that we inspect for that $44,900 price. Everything else is sold as is. And now what I do, like I always do for my viewers, I turn the lights on, I put the awning out, I opened up all the bays, you know, make sure the awning works. That's not part of our regular inspection. The lights aren't part of our regular inspection, but I make sure that stuff works for you. I turn the TV on, but the antenna's not hooked up, or it doesn't have a coax cable ran to the antenna, so it wasn't picking up anything, but it comes on, it works. So, you know, we don't cover that stuff, but at least I turned it on, make sure it works for you, just for my viewers, so that you know that I went above and beyond our normal checkout, and my techs will check out the rest of the stuff that's on our list. Again, we only check and guarantee the slide outs, step, drivability, plumbing systems, roof air, and refrigerator, freezer, and generator for the $44,900 price. So you need to do one of two things if you want to decide to buy this RV. Of course, you always want to come up and look at it, test drive it, check it out for yourself before deciding to buy it, and inspect it for yourself, and or hire a third-party inspection service, guys. I recommend that on any new or used RV purchase. Yes, that's right, guys. Even brand new RV purchases, especially brand new RV purchases, I recommend a certified RV inspector to inspect it, and used as well. So just so you know what you're getting into, guys, RVs are imperfect. Okay, here's the thing, guys. You're going to work on an RV, whether it's new, used, it doesn't matter the type, the brand, it doesn't matter how much you spend. You can spend $1.5 million on a used RV. You're going to work on it, especially right after you bought it. That's just part of owning one, guys. And if you're not prepared to deal with that, then RV ownership may not be for you. It's not a trouble-free lifestyle. You're going to have issues. It's part of it. It can be aggravating at times, pull your hair out at times, but at other times when you're at that perfect spot with family and friends, or by yourself, however you prefer, it makes it all worth it. It really does, guys. You live for those moments, and you forget all about the behind the scenes stuff you had to go through to get to that point. And that's what I love about it. You know, it's awesome. It really is, guys. And I'm not gonna lie, I get mine out sometimes just to drive it out for day trips, just to drive it, and I enjoy doing that on my, you know, if I have a Sunday, you know, when I'm off on Sundays or something, we'll just load up in mine, take it out for a day trip, and not even spend the night in it. You know, it's just enjoying each other and enjoying it, and just finding little day areas and just parking there for the day, having a picnic, grilling out, or fishing, or you know, I do a lot of metal detecting, especially now that I've losing some weight. I'm getting where I can do that more now. I enjoy doing stuff like that, guys. And RVs just make it that much easier, especially when it's hot out, to have a nice air-conditioned place to go back to. You know, instead of you know, leave a generator and leave the AC on. But guys, I mean, RVing is a lot of fun. Yeah, it's a headache sometimes. Like anything you do, it's like owning a boat, like owning a vacation home or anything like that. You know, when it sits between uses, it's like a home that sits 6 months between uses. You have a weekend home and it sits 6 months between uses, you go up there, there's going to be issues with it, versus one that you're in every day. And it's just weird how they do that, but it's the truth. But like I said, I'm telling you stuff no other RV salesperson will ever tell you, that RVs they're not trouble-free. That's why I tell people, get an inspection, come inspect it for yourself, get an inspection, test drive it, spend some time with it, don't rush into the decision. Look at it, make sure it's right for you and your family. Because guys, this, my opinion of something and a stranger's opinion of something is going to be totally different than your opinion. You know, nobody, that's what makes opinions opinions. Nobody's right, nobody's wrong, and everybody's got one. And I think this one's a good solid 9 out of 10 for the year model for 2010, because you got to realize, guys, it is 13 years old. It's not going to be perfect. You know, I'm looking at the price, what it costs new, what the equivalent of this motorhome costs now in 2022. It's a lot of savings buying this one for $44,900 versus buying a brand new double slide 31 footer. A lot of savings, and honestly, this one's probably better built than what they're building now since the pandemic. May not have as much technology, but I care more about build quality than I do about technology. I can add that technology myself. If I want Wi-Fi extenders and this and that, I can add that stuff myself. I care more about the initial. I care about good bones more than I care about, hey, has it got the latest and greatest tech? That can be added later on. I can add solar. I can do all that myself. For a fraction of the cost of having the factory do it. So anyway, what I'm gonna do, guys, is I'm gonna pause the video for a minute and I'm gonna bring the slide outs in, show you what it looks like with the slide outs in. First I got to go outside, put the awning up, close the bays, but we'll do that, and then we'll do a quick video showing you how to do that, and then we'll take it for a test drive. So hang tight, guys. And again, if you got any questions about this motorhome, you want to buy it, we do have financing available with approved credit and down payment. Keep in mind, guys, we don't have any upsells, we don't have any fees, we don't have any dealer interest rate markup. So here's the thing, you see an RV listed for $44,900 at another dealer's lot or on another dealer's advertisement, you don't walk in there with a cashier's check for $44,900 or cash or whatever and leave with that RV. They're going to start adding extended service contracts, which are warranties, what they call warranties. They're going to start adding gap insurance. They're going to start trying to sell you tire and wheel packages, vacation packages, all this stuff that's not worth the paper it's written on, that's marked up 3, 4, 5 times dealer cost, and they keep the profit. They're going to sell you a warranty that's not worth the paper it's written on, that they're buying for $1,400, $1,500, selling you for $7,000 or $8,000. I mean, guys, never buy into that stuff, and so many people do, and it basically turns out, like, use this one for an example, it turns a $44,900 motorhome into a $65,000 motorhome. But it doesn't make the motorhome worth anymore, but it just makes you pay more for it, and then when you need that stuff, it doesn't pay nothing. I mean, they're selling these warranties to these dealers for $1,400, $1,500. You really think they're going to pay anything out when you file a claim? Of course not. They've got that fine print written up on that 25-page warranty contract where they can pretty much get out of paying any claim. I mean, if you actually sit down there and read all that, see how ridiculous it is, they're not going to pay nothing. But that's how they make their money, guys. They're a for-profit business, these warranty companies. Save your money. Put that money that you're going to spend on an extended warranty, put it in a savings account. And if you were going to spend $8,000 on a 4-year warranty, put it in the savings account instead of buying the warranty, and just pay cash for any kind of repairs that pop up over the next 4 years, 9 times out of 10, you're still going to have a good chunk of that 8 grand or 7 grand left in your savings account after 4 years. I promise you that, more than likely. And chances are, even if you did have the warranty, they're not going to pay it anyway. You're going to pay it out of pocket anyway. It's just going to cost you double, because you're going to pay all that money for that warranty, then still have to pay the repairs out of pocket. Yeah, you might get a few $100s back from them, maybe 1 out of 4 claims, but you're never going to get nowhere close to what you paid in for the warranty back. So, and believe me, guys, you don't believe me, there's plenty of people on YouTube that'll say the same thing, that bought into those warranties. Denied claim, denied claim, denied claim. All it is a way of the dealer to make a few extra $1,000 off of you. So anyway, thank y'all so much for watching, guys. So staying tight. We're going to bring this room in, bring this awning in, and I'll be right back. Again, 706-965-7929 if you're interested. Stay tuned. I will see you in just a few minutes for me, a second for you. Hang tight. All right, everybody. Finally got everything put up. As with any slide out system, of course, you know, my standard checklist, which is my personal checklist, includes making sure all my outside bays are closed, latched, and locked. Make sure the awning is put up correctly, which it is. Then, of course, this unit's got slide toppers. You don't have to worry about this next step. But if your unit does not have slide toppers, and you were set up, especially for a long period of time at a campground under a bunch of trees or something like that, you want to just kind of look on top of your slides, make sure there's no sticks, debris, leaves, anything that can damage your slide out seal when you bring it in. And if there is, take you a battery powered leaf blower or a broom, something like that, on a ladder, and clean the top of your slide out before you bring it in, keep from damaging your seal. Now once you do all that, go inside and make sure there's nothing in the way that's going to damage your slide out. Now this is the Fleetwood. They have a little different slide out procedure. Move the front seat up, parking brake on, leave the engine running, because it has to be in park with the parking brake on, so this can never go out when you're going down the road, so you don't have to worry about that. But your first slide out, which is right here, your main slide, is right here by the door. Push a button, bring it in all the way. As with any slide out, bring it all the way in or all the way out. If it cannot connect against the wall, either with the outer or the inner part of it, it cannot seal to keep the water out. And it is a little tight squeeze through here, but the rest of it's fine. You still got access to everything. Refrigerator, you can still use your table booth. Of course, guys, I'm 300 pounds, 6'4", so, you know, little tight squeeze. Now, 2 months ago when I was 325, I couldn't fit through that, but I can walk through here. And this is your second slide out switch right here. Same thing, bring it all the way in. And you do lose access to some of your storage right at the bottom, but you still can lay down, take a nap, access to your shower. And also, guys, make sure your shower door is latched, because this is a glass shower door. You don't want that to come open and break. Make sure all your doors are latched, all that good stuff too. TV secured. So we're good to go for the test drive, except throw that remote right there on the bed. There we go. Little things, but you can see, guys, you still got access to pretty much everything. Just anytime you got a smaller Class A with 2 slides like this, it is going to take up a little space, but you know, if you're parked somewhere, it just takes a second to slide them back out. So hang tight, let me get a salesperson and we will go for a test drive. I'll see you right back from the driver's seat. All right, everybody, now we're going to test drive this 2010 Fleetwood Encounter, and hopefully it's a good encounter we're having here. Got my good buddy Joe going to ride with us, be your cameraman, and show him some love. If you're interested in this encounter, give him a call or a text anytime. Joe, what's your phone number?
423-702-1310.
And he will help you out. And I'm pretty excited to drive this with the Banks package. 362 horsepower, but like I said, according to Banks, this adds up to 57 horsepower, so that's over 400 horsepower. I'm sure that depends on conditions, RPM, things like that. So, and of course, 77 pound-feet of torque. So. And we won't talk about fuel mileage. kind of here late in the day, so we're probably going to have a little bit more traffic than usual. Well, maybe a lot more, but well, maybe a lot more. All right. And we get the red light. That's all right though. Do sit up pretty good in this one. Good visibility, mirrors are good. You can tell the exhaust sounds a little different, I guess because of that Banks package. Like I said, it's a whole intake, exhaust, everything, so pretty cool system. If you ever see how they set it up, you get a chance. Like I said, it's probably not nothing I would add to my RV if I didn't have it. I don't think it'd be worth the money because I don't drive that fast, but it's certainly a nice bonus to have if your unit's already got it in it. And it does have the 5-speed torque shift transmission for its version of an Allison. And this thing really ain't no bigger than most of the Class C's we drive, not lengthwise. And hopefully we get on the way here in just a second. So I'm kind of curious what this thing will do going up this hill. Well, guess we picked a pretty day for this. Here we go. Minivan next to us knows what's going on here. Can I tell the difference? Yeah. This Class A's got the power of a Class C. It's a lot lighter. Guys, that Banks is one bad boy right there is all I can say. And we'll take her on the interstate and see what she does. I don't think we have to worry too much about hitting 60. Man, listen to that motor. Slow down, hang it. Well, 65 wouldn't have been a problem, but for these trucks. I like it how, look how it quiets down when you just cruise. When you get on it though, that thing sounds good. And we'll hit the cruise control and it feels pretty good. I'm in the wind zone of one in front of me and got one beside me in a big truck, one-handed, not even white knuckle. Cruise control, by the way, works. Right now, I may take back what I said about if you don't have the Banks package. That is pretty awesome. That would be handy for going up mountains and stuff. That is pretty cool. Banks, that's a pretty good product y'all come out with on this. But anyway, hit the brakes here to try it out. Make sure they feel good. Oh yeah, brakes feel good. Transmission shift's great. You know, if I had to fault this thing, the brakes feel really good right here. I'm about to try them out. If I had to fault this thing in any way, front tires may have a couple flat spots on them where it's set on the gravel. Might need to be drove a little bit or rebalanced at the worst case, but this thing just drives absolutely fine to me. But don't take my word for it. Come out and try it for yourself. I'll call, make sure it's available. I don't think this will last long for this price. Give Joe a call or a text before coming down. Make sure it's available. Joe, what's your number?
423-702-1310.
And make sure you smash us a thumbs up, comment. Thanks for riding with us. Hit that subscribe button. Thanks again for watching, guys, and look forward to seeing you here in beautiful Ringo, Georgia.